Welcome to the Army Empire Podcast, your go-to podcast for insightful tips on investment strategies, entrepreneurship, and all things money matters. Join Bernard Alerte, your guide on this journey to financial freedom. Each episode will dive into expert advice, practical strategies, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your financial future. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned investor, we've got something for everyone. So get ready to unlock your financial potential and make your money work for you. And now, let's welcome your host, Bernard Alerte.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. Yes, excited to be here. This is 2026. Oh my gosh, I love the backgrounds. Check it out. Brand new.
Yes, how exciting. We got a new background that matches the Army Empire theme, and we're excited about that. We have some cool, fun things happening in this episode and moving forward throughout the remainder of the year. We're going to be tweaking some things on social media, being able to move us and expand our audience. We're going to be way more intentional with Instagram, with YouTube, and pushing things on Facebook. So I hope you guys are excited and you guys lean in and link up with us as we continue to grow this amazing audience of the Army Empire Podcast.
Yes. So excited what we have coming up this year. Plans. We're gonna improve. We're gonna do a lot of the forum that worked this past year, which has been incredible. And we're gonna add a little bit more. We're gonna bring more content. We're gonna have guests, a lot more guests going forward, which is exciting. That can bring a different expertise and perspective on things. So it's just going to be exciting. And just like you said, to expand more. So people tell me all the time, like, you need to reach out more people. You need to reach out more people. It's such great information. So we're going to be intentional, like you said, and we're going to explode this thing and really get people on track.
Yes, I love it. I'm so excited. So what is the theme for today? Episode 65. What do we got going on today?
It's very simple. We're going to talk basics of investing, but it's just basics of finance things. This is New Year. This is the first month. This is the special time. Everyone has New Year's. If you think about it, at the end of the year, everybody has New Year's resolution, right? One of the things they want to do. So listen, they want to get in shape, right? They want to get in better health, right? And the other topic, they want to actually also get their finances, know how to do it. So we're going to cover some basic things, a lot of different things we cover, put it together to make it work. But it's the craziest thing that happens. Like, if you go to the gym now, the gyms are packed. I was working on Monday. I couldn't even get a treadmill, right? It was like everybody was there, packed, right? And it's like, wow, everybody, you can tell the ones that are brand new, they have matching. They have matching they have brand new sweatsuit. They have matching sneakers, outfits, and everything is like perfectly matched versus me, I'm wearing green with gray and all different colors. We don't really care, right? Holes in your shirt and things like that when you're working out, you can tell. But what happens to a lot of people is, guess what happened? They give up, and sometimes they give up. If you go back end of the month by end of January, a couple of weeks, it goes back to the same people that on the regulars end up being the regulars there. Right. And that carries over to their finance. A lot of people have they have the right intent to say, I want to get my finances in order. I want to get things going. Right. And sometimes it may seem kind of tough and they start something, or maybe they don't even know where to start sometimes. They don't even know, where do I start? Why do I? So this is going to be a tiny little blueprint where to start, things to focus on and where to start. So they can make a big difference this year going forward.
Excellent.
Good.
Excellent. Absolutely. So the basics of investing.
ABCs, absolutely, right? So let's get into our first slide. Most Americans, right, live a debt cycle versus a cash cycle, And if you think, what's a debt cycle, right? Your debt cycle, your finances control you. You're outspending your income, right? You're borrowing money. You're borrowing to maintain a lifestyle. You're paying off one credit card and accruing another credit card. So this is where most people are on a debt cycle versus a cash cycle, which we want to help people transition into, which is where you control your finances. You get yourself on a game plan, be totally debt free. You're paying with cash instead of borrowing. You have investments, you have savings, you start building assets. See, of all the threats to your financial security, none is more dangerous than debt, right? Debt is like it's like a four-letter word. Is bad when it comes to your finances. It's like I hit the word cancer, but it's like a cancer to your finances sometimes, right? It just sometimes it just spreads, and you have to keep it under check, And one of the ways the only way to keep debt under check is you have to build cash. You have to be intentional and have specific game plan to build cash, because the more cash you build up, the way you get rid of debt is not paying debt. The way you get rid is by building cash and paying debt. You have to do both. You can't just do one or the other. Exactly. Because you can pay off you can start paying off all your debt. I so many people, they put $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 towards their debt, but they're not saving any money. So what happens? They could pay off that debt, but guess what happens? As soon as emergency happens, they get right back. We had a client call us, man, oh my gosh, my boiler broke. I have to take $3,000, and those are things that happen. Those are things that happen sometimes. So we want to make sure we get people on the cash cycle and transition towards the right direction, right? So if you look at the next slide, right? See, yes, you have the power to become financially independent. Yes, I just want to let people know, everyone listen to me right now. You have the power to become financially independent. You don't need to earn a six-figure income to become financially independent. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make. Yes, it's better to earn a six-figure income 100%, but you don't need to earn a six-figure income to become financially independent. Listen, I know a lot of people that earn six figures that are in debt. I know people that are making $250,000 a year that are living paycheck to paycheck.
So true.
You may not think so, but it's a reality. They actually said about 20% of the people that make over 250 grand a year living paycheck to pay. I think 20 to 40%. That number is a lot higher, living paycheck to paycheck, right? So you don't need to make a six-figure income. You don't have to have a high-level job with a big salary, and you don't have to receive a large inheritance or win a lottery to become a millionaire.
That's it right there. We think we need to see the money all the time. The money's always got to be flowing.
Yes, you're waiting for someone to pass away, or you're trying to win the lottery, right? No, you don't. There's certain things that certain principles you can apply, and it can actually put you on track, right? Most of the people that are financially independent are actually never earn a six-figure income. I know teachers that apply the right principles, right? I also that'll actually cash millionaires. This day. So we want to let people know it's not the income, how much money you make, but how much money you save and invest.
So good.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to make a six-figure income to be financially independent.
Yes, absolutely. Think about it. You could make $50,000 a year, right? Which average income, if you take 10% of your income, $500 a month, you invest that money, and by the time you're 60, 65, you can have $500,000 accumulated. Probably even more.
Yeah, I love that, especially when they're young. And thank you for meeting with the newlyweds, my daughter and her husband. That was awesome that you were able to sit with them and that they're already on track. That I've had that in my mind already for some time, and saying he needs to sit with my children. And it's about making that happen and that conversation happening so that they could change their mindset when it comes to savings and investment.
100%. Absolutely. So let's look at it, right? See, what's the solution? The solution is very, very, you have to learn how to invest. Learn how to invest, right? And this is one thing we're actually doing really hard on the Empire Podcast is we're showing people where to save and invest that money, the best strategies to have, right? Pay yourself first, okay? Pay yourself first. One of the most simplest tools, if I look at everyone that I've come across, that if you ask anyone that's accumulated a substantial amount of money in their retirement, and you ask them, what's the one thing that you did that made such a big difference? And they'll say, pay yourself first. Before you pay anybody, pay yourself first. While most of us try to do, we try to pay everything else, every bill, mortgage, rent, credit cards, all these different things, and whatever's left after what you're trying to save, where there's never enough money left afterwards.
Definitely.
Make sense? So the key is you want to pay yourself first. Find a game plan before you pay anybody. Have a bill. The most important bill you can have is yourself. You need to reframe. Yes, reframe our mindset is the most important bill you have is yourself. Because you could pay your Visa bill on time for the next 20, 30, 40 years and have a high credit score, which is great. And guess what? When you retire, you have no money. You can't call Visa. Visa, listen, I've been a loyal customer. I've been on time forever. Can you just send me some money here? Because I can't. No, they'll say, oh, sorry. As a matter of fact, you call them, they're going to put you on hold with no music. They will.
Yep. I hope we're taking notes, people. Let's take notes, people.
Absolutely. Pay yourself first. And one thing is we're going to set up 3 fundamental. We've talked a lot about throughout this past year. 3 fundamental accounts everybody needs to have. The second one, accelerate and pay off debt, right? And we've used the debt stacking program, which is very, very important step of that debt stacking program. If you have debt, we talk about different strategies. If you own a mortgage or if you have a lot of high interest debt, different strategy you can do, like consolidate, get a home equity, get a home equity just to pay it off, so you can actually lower the payment. Okay, lower the interest, make the interest tax deductible, and you have a specific time frame to get out of debt. There's a way to do that also. But anyone, no matter what, whether you own a home or not, you can start a debt stacking program where you structure with the snowball effect. You can eliminate your debt, which is important. And another step also is protect your income. Ensure your income until you build financial independence. Use life insurance as a way to protect your income. And we are big on that, right? Create the foundation, right? So that's the strategies, 3 things that most people need, right? To get yourself out of the debt cycle into the cash cycle, right?
So when you say ensure your income, you're referring to making sure that you have
the right amount of life insurance.
The right amount of life
insurance. 100%. Because you replace your income. So what are 3 fundamental accounts everyone needs? Let's talk about. Let's go. Let's revisit that again.
Review. Yeah, this is a review.
Exactly. Emergency account. Everybody needs an emergency account. What's an emergency account? Where you should have up to 3 months to 6 months of your income. Okay, 3 months, 6 months of your income. So what is the good range you have? So let's say if you're making $5,000 a month, right? For example, you want to have between $15,000 to $30,000 saved up, an emergency account, right? What's an emergency account? Very, very 3 kinds of accounts, right? Number one is it could be a money checking account, right? Savings account, or I like money markets instead, right? And I always recommend set up a money market, have away from your checking account. Okay, set up a money market where every single week you're putting money inside in a money market account to build your savings. Doesn't matter how much it is. Somebody said, Bernard, I can't afford just $50 a week. Just something to start, where it makes a big difference. Where you're gonna get a money market account if it's separate. Don't I always discourage, because what most people have, they have a checking and savings account. They say, yeah, I'm saving money, but the problem is tied into your checking and savings. And the challenge with that also is very easy, that if you want to go buy something that you don't need, right? You can go actually look on your app, and you transfer savings to checking, and it gets into your account in less than 2.2 seconds, right? Then you can buy. So I discourage that. If you want to separate, you want to have most of you want to have like just to cover your bills. Checking that should only cover your bills. That's it. Just to cover your bills, right? And most of them should be in a money market account, where outside of your bank, where now if you had an emergency, you can transfer the money. If you have an emergency, you can go online, transfer, get them in 1 or 2 business days. But it's not something where it eliminates the temptation for like impulse buying, for example. Impulse buying. That's what happens. A lot of times, like I used to have before, man, you start saving and you want to get something, boom. Then you use it, you tap into it. So you want to have emergency account. Everyone needs to have an emergency account. Where you have 3 to 6 months, 6 months. You never know. Let's say if you get laid off or your something happens, emergency, you want to set that up, right? Emergency, major car repair, uncovered medical expense, right? So those are the ones you want to use, right? Now you have short-term accounts. After you've taken care of that, you want to have some short-term accounts. Let's say if you want to buy a home, for example, your goal is to buy like 3 to 5 years. You want to buy a home. You want to get something big, right? Where you can't really invest in the market, but at the same time, you're able to, guess what? Put some money aside. Okay. You're able to put some money aside on top of that, which is very, very important. Okay. Like a bond account, things like that. You can put that money, enough down payment for a house, right? So that's a short-term account. The next is a wealth building account, which is retirement, which is Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, 401ks, right? College funds for kids, right? For example, long-term accounts. See, wealth building account. This is why you use mutual funds, use investment like annuities, managed accounts that we always talk about. This is where you start building your wealth. Okay, you want to use that towards building wealth. So those are 3 accounts everybody should have. Every single person should have. They're all different purposes. And people, when the biggest mistake I see people do this past year, they have an emergency because they've never built an emergency account. They start taking money out of their Roth IRA and 401ks for emergencies. Right? And there's 2 major challenges. Number one, you're robbing potential returns that you're losing because of that. Right? And number 2, some like a 401k, you have tax implications. What you end up paying, number one, is you end up paying a income tax. You end up paying a penalty based on that. So it's disadvantage. It's not advantageous to be able to use wealth building accounts for emergency. So use separate emergency accounts, right, to be able to do that. Make sense?
Yes, love this. And all we're thinking as your audience is we're saying, okay, which one this year do I need to be more intentional on working? Have I dropped my emergency account? Have I not been paying attention to that? Or am I not considering wealth building? Literally, he's showing us these 3. Which one have you dropped the ball? And 2026, you're going to say, no, I got to make sure that I have these 3 fundamental accounts.
Absolutely.
So good.
How do I divide it? Well, how do I contribute? This is a very simple for how to contribute. See, based on your investment account, to pay yourself first, very simple. What do you do? Number one, 50%. If you have, let's say you have $200 available, use 50% of that 200. So let's say you put $100 towards your emergency. Right? Then you put $50 towards short-term account and $50 towards wealth building account.
So good.
Makes sense? So what happens is then once you're satisfied, once your emergency and short-term goals are satisfied, guess what you do? You add those investments into wealth building account. So after you've done that, right, then you can say, you know what? I've satisfied my emergency. I have my 3 months accumulated already. Now I'm going to use all that money towards because I don't need to add any more to it. I got all my towards wealth building accounts, right? So more money towards your Roth IRAs and 401ks you can contribute. So this is a way to do. So no matter what amount, if it's 500, 200, if someone's on a fixed budget, 200, the key is just to get started. To get started with something, right? See, don't never underestimate the power of just small wins. The small wins, everybody wants the big wins, but you gotta get some small wins before you get the big wins, right? And the key is people have to learn this is the year 2026 is you're gonna get some small wins. You may not get the big wins, but the most important thing you want to do this year is to get some small wins.
Yeah,
build on small wins, go on the right track, and that's so important.
Such a good map right there with that. That's a good one.
Absolutely. And again, protect. What's the purpose of life? You want to protect your income, right? More than ever now. People need to protect more than ever. Here's the reason why. There's some call it theory of decreasing responsibility, which is how life really works, right? Very, very simple. And there's 2 things that can devastate your family financially. And we always talk about that. If you die too soon, that can hurt your family tremendously. And if you live too long, that can also hurt you too. Why is that? Because in early years, you may need a lot of coverage. Why is that? Because today, if you look at most people, you may have young children. If you're in your 20s and 40s, I mean 50s, you may have young children. You may have a high debt. You may have a house mortgage. So right now, your loss of income will be devastating to your family.
Correct.
Right? Why? Because in early years, you may not have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? But guess what? In the later years, you better have money. Why is that? Number one, you're going to retire. Your children should be grown or out of the house. Your debt should be lower. Your mortgage should be paid. So you need retirement income. So in later years, you may not need a lot of coverage. So in the beginning, you want to protect yourself. You want to play defense and offense, right? See, if you're going to win any game, we always talk, you like to use the analogy, you have to have defense and offense. Why does that work? Defense, that means if you're playing sports, if you just defense, if you only defense, you never get ahead because you're always playing defense. But if you're playing offense, then you put yourself wrong where people can score against you. Might also lose the game. So the key is to use defense and offense. Life insurance is defense, investments is offense.
So good. Yo, we gotta write that one down. Okay, so say life insurance is offense,
Defense is defense,
defense.
and investment is offense, right? See, what does life insurance do? What's the one thing we all want to have a big estate, right or wrong? Everybody like, man, I want to have like $millions estate when I pass away. But guess what happened? Life insurance allowed to create wealth while you build wealth. So it allows you to create immediate estate right now if something were to happen to you, and it shows you how you save and invest money so you can have an estate in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have both working. You can't have one or the other. Okay, let's stop. Well, I just want to invest. That don't make any sense. So it's so cost effective to have life insurance, and where the company is taking all the risk. We talk about that. You have zero risk. The company takes all the risk because you're paying a small amount. The company is on the hook for a big amount.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to do that while you start building wealth for yourself, right? And guess what happens? In the later years, you may not need life insurance, right? Because think about it. I tell people all the time, listen, if you have $500,000, $600,000, $1 million accumulated, the need for life insurance decreases.
True.
Right? In Mercy, what type of account you suggest, Mercy? Money market is the best one. A money market account. I don't like CDs because number one is they charge you, which I don't like at all, right? You want to take your money out. CDs, we call certificates of depreciation.
Yeah.
Certificates of depreciation, number one. Certificates of disappointment. I don't like CDs at all. Right? Because
okay.
You set up money market where there's no, number one, the great thing about money market is there's no, is you don't get any fees if you want to take your money out. Right.
Okay, so money market would be one that you suggest. I wrote down here CD and I put a sad face.
Yeah.
So CDs is not the way to go, but money market, when it comes to this awesome question here, you know, what you suggest for savings for emergency fund would be money market. That's what
because most money markets you can get 4 or 5% interest on them, so you're gonna get a lot better than you'll get in the bank keeping a checking account where you get 0% interest, or savings where you get 0.01, 0.05%, pretty much, right? So, and you're not even being inflated. At least a money market, you're keeping up with inflation. A market of 3 to 4%, inflation 3-4% a year. So at least your money is keeping up with inflation. Makes sense.
Got you. Yeah. That totally makes sense. And this slide here that you were just talking about, we've seen. If you've been following the podcast, you know you've seen this slide before. And I love that we're able to do these kind of reviews, and he puts this information that we once heard in another episode in another topic. So good.
Absolutely.
So good.
Exactly. Right. And this is the first step. Now I tell everyone we had episode on that. Get yourself a financial house, build your financial house, start building your financial house, right? Get a pop quiz, find out what you need to do, right? What is the first steps you need to do to get your financial house, right? We ask you a very simple question is, you want to protect 2 to 5. So think about that. Do you have an income replacement program in place? Right. I ask people all the time, listen, would you take 1-2% of your income to protect the other 98%? Well, it will make sense, right? Take 1-2% of your income to protect the other 98%. So let's say if you're making 50,000, right? 50,000 a year, take 1%. What's 1%? 500. 1% is 5. Take $500 to protect the other, the rest. That makes a lot of sense, right? In other words, right? So important. That's the first step, building your financial house, right? Because one of the most important assets you and I have is the fact that we make income for our families. If that were to stop, everything stops. So you want to protect your income. Make sure you use life insurance to protect your income. So you want to create the foundation, build a financial house. The next step, we'd ask people, have 3 to 6 months of your expenses in an emergency fund. Right. Number 3, the next set of financial house is what? Have a debt freedom day next 10 years. Right. So if you have any debts, or get a game plan, get out of debt, set a game plan. You need to know, you need to find exactly what you need to get out of debt. How can I get out of debt faster? Don't guess. Have a game plan. Number 4, become an investor. Right. Have a plan to duplicate paycheck at retirement. So one of the things you want to do, you want to make sure that if you're making $50,000, $60,000 a year or $100,000 when you're working, you want to have the same income coming when you retire. Most people think when they retire that their expenses go down. It doesn't. It goes up. It stays the same. It doesn't. It doesn't go down for a lot of times. So you want to have game to duplicate your paycheck, right?
Yes.
Number 5, have an education account, right? This is our priority. So if you have kids, put money towards your kids' education. If you have to, if you look at it, you see the priority. It's 1 first, 2 second, 3. There's a reason. There's an order behind that. That means 1 is more important than the other. You take it 1 first, set, boom. It had the right priorities when you're building your financial house. One of the things I hear people ask sometimes, I want to save money for my kids' education. I'm like, well, I asked, number 1, did you protect your income yet? No, I haven't. Why is it important to protect your income? Because let's say you can put $50, $100 a month to your kids' education. If something happens, you God forbid, 5 years from now, your kids get $5,000. What's that going to do for them? I know. Nothing. Versus if you got life insurance to begin with, makes sense, and start build that up and add the rest. Instead of putting $200 to your kids' education, put $100 in life, $50, $75 in life insurance, and guess what happened? Put $25 towards each step, and you'll be able to get on track.
Right.
And also the last part is have a will. Have a will. Yes, you need to have a will. I've seen too many tragic. To this day, I've seen too many tragic things happen that people don't have a will. Listen, you don't need a lot of money to have a will. Everyone needs to have a will, because if you don't have a will, a state of New York has a will set up for you. Or a state of Florida has your will set up for you. Or a state of Texas has a will set up for you. No matter what state, they have a will set up for. And that's not, unfortunately, we have a client that we had started working with, but we didn't get a chance to set everything up. Passed away, unfortunately, last year. And right now they had money, and she was a single mom, divorced mom with kids, and she has money in a retirement plan. That's going to go to probate. She has money that's going to probate, where the state's going to take a big chunk of the money out, and it's going to decide who gets this, who gets that.
Come on, think about that for a minute. That's some serious stuff, where your loved one has money set for the family, and because there was no will, now the state's going to do, and
they're going to get lawyers. They're going to take their part. They're going to take a big chunk of it. So it doesn't make sense. So the key is, and one thing I would tell everyone in 2026, build your financial house. Start building your financial, and build it the right way. Build it the right way with the right priorities. Right priorities. Do it the right way. If you build a house, listen, if you build something the right way, it will withstand anything. Make sense? It will withstand emergency. If you build it right, if you say, well, I want to become an investor, I don't want life, I don't want nothing, then you're going to have a disaster waiting to happen for you. You have a disaster waiting to happen, in other words, right? So that's the things we're going to talk a lot about this year, also emphasize. And listen, one thing we want to share on is a little bigger. What are some of the things that are great this year that's happened? Number 1 is we talk about retirement contributions that are so important. IRAs have gone up, right? If you look at the number, you can, it's kind of small, but you can go back and look at it. IRAs have gone up it's like 7,500 now. It used to be 7,000. It's 7,500, right? I think 7,500, right? And if you're over 50, like us, right? I mean, 50, you can add that. You can add that to $1,100, right? On top. So I have 8,600. And they also increase the income thresholds. Like if you look at for single, from 81 to 91,000. If you look at the IRAs, for most IRAs, if a married couple do 240 to 250,000, for most people, they can have a Roth IRA. Because think about, only 5% of the population makes over 200, 250,000 a year. So for 95% of people out there, you can have an IRA. You can have a Roth IRA. You can max out a Roth IRA, right? Max out. So if you're a husband and wife, you can do both. Max out 7,500 each, right? That's 14,000. I mean, I think 15,000. You can max out a year. If you do that in 20 years, you'll have $1 million accumulated as a couple.
Wild.
Right. So take advantage. There's also savers. People don't realize they came out like past year that's really the government gives you a tax credit for saving money for your retirement. So even if so they actually give you an extra credit. So the government is encouraging you to save money.
That's right? The savers credit part.
Yeah, savers credit on top of that. right? They allow you to actually, I think they might have increased it this year, but they allow you to put money. So some is 10%, 20%. If you have 2,000, they allow you to put $200. They actually get a tax credit adjustment. So I think it's awesome. So everyone's see, the reason the government is encouraging you to do it because they know Social Security is not enough. It's not going to be enough, especially if you're between the age of 25 to, let's say, 55, 60. It's not going to be enough for you to retire on. It may not be enough. So guess why? They encourage you to put money for your retirement. Make sense? To be able to. So this is the year that every single person should have a Roth IRA. Everybody. And if you have a Roth IRA, you need to put as much as possible in that. I have the client that called me. The client that called me on yesterday. It's like, listen, she's young. She's in her 30s, right? She's single in the 30s, right? We set up a life insurance Roth IRA with her, and she asked me, she's like, Bernard, I want to increase my life insurance. Like, no, you don't need to increase your life insurance. You need to increase your investment. Listen, I'll get paid more money if I increase her life insurance than her investment.
Look at that.
But I said, no. You don't need to increase your life insurance. You need to increase your investment. I'd rather the extra $100, $200 hour, rather than get life insurance and increase. I'd rather put money, invest that money, save it. You have a Roth IRA already, put as much as possible in your Roth IRA. You don't need to life. You're okay. You're set. Okay. Wow. You don't need to. If when you get married and when you get married and you have kids, a mortgage, you have more responsibility, then let's revisit and increase it. But until then, you need to save and invest.
So good. This is why we need a financial coach.
This is why I don't like IULs too, because if it was IUL, I'll help you out and sell my IUL policy.
Quick. They would have done that quick.
Listen. You have the power to become. You have the power to become financial independent. Yes, you have the power. Yes, you can. You can shift your life today. It doesn't matter what happened last year. Last year may not have been a good year financially, but you could totally make the right decision. You have the power to become financial independent. Yes, you can get out of debt. Yes, you can build savings. Yes, you can get on a path to financial independence. It's just little steps. Listen, I'm gonna share some with you. It's the boring things that's gonna make you wealthy. The boring things you do are going to make you wealthy. What's the boring things? Get pure term insurance and invest in a Roth IRA will make you wealthy. Not those things out there. It's crazy. It's like when people try to get, if you ask someone, what's the best way to get in shape, right? Everybody's trying to find a gimmick. Find this special juice, this special thing. So I can know it's eating the right foods, stay away from some fat, right? Eating the right food, stay away from fat, and exercise. If you exercise, right? If you exercise, you start eating, you cut away processed foods, you cut away fatty foods, you eat lesser portions, you will get healthier.
Yes.
You will get healthy and you will have a better quality of life. It's the same thing with your money. Very simple. You don't need a special intergalactic new gimmick out there because people don't like the simple things. And it's the simple things, the simple, boring things that will make you wealthy. That you do consistently will make you wealthy. The little things repeated, repeat over a period of time will make you wealthy.
Yeah.
Very, very simple. So we just want to share with people is like simple things to follow.
Yeah. I hear that a lot. When folks say that podcast that you co-host, man, I wish I knew that information when I was younger.
Yeah.
That's so true. Lots of folks say that one.
It's never too late to get healthy. It's never too listen. I'm 54 years. I'm probably the healthiest I've been. I'm healthy. I feel I'm healthier now than I was in my 20s. Now, things still hurt. I still got bone pains. I can't do, but I'm a lot healthier, right? Than I was back then. I couldn't jog. I couldn't jog from be a mile and a half. Now I can do 3 miles with no problem. 3 to 4 miles with no problem. Where before, and I'm 54. Why? So you can change. No matter, we can change your trajectory. You can do it. You can make. Listen. The path to financial independence starts with understanding a few basic concepts. Like I shared, few basic concepts. Winning the financial war is a result of winning tiny battles day to day. It's the tiny battles day to day that can make a big difference. Get the little wins. The little wins lead to big wins, right? See, if we put together a simple plan, follow, you'd be amazed at the progress you can make and make a huge difference. Make sense? So I'm excited. My prayer for everyone this year is you turn the page. You turn the page and you start following the basic concept. If you need guidance, we'll guide you. We'll give you the tools. We'll give you the guidance. We'll give you the resource necessary. We'll give you the coaching. We'll walk you every step of the way. You're not going to by yourself, and you can get on track. You can make a big difference. You go from chicken crab to chicken salad right now. You can go from the outhouse to the penthouse just like that. Make a big difference just by following basic things. You'd be surprised the big difference, the little decisions, the little amounts that you start putting away, transitions you make could have tremendous impact over a period of time.
Yes, that's wonderful. What a great topic. I love that last comment that we got. So good. This awesome. This financial advice for this new year. Thus far, this is amazing. And yep, hashtag thank you, Coach Bernard.
Thank
Love
you.
that. So great. So great. The information, the basics of investing. This is how we've opened the door to 2026, and some more great topics are always ahead. Don't forget to continue to follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, and share this information with other folks. And we'll see you again next week. Bernard, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, next week we may have working on having a special guest next week. A couple of special guests we're working on. I've got to confirm, but looking to have some special happen next week.
That's fantastic. It's going to be great. We're looking forward to an amazing new season of the Army Empire podcast. Be blessed. And I hope you took notes, revisit this, and share this with someone. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Bernard.
Take care. Great to see you guys.
You rock. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Army Empire podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Join us next week for another exciting edition. And until then, keep building your empire.